Ladies and gentlemen, inside every human being lives a giant, an immense power capable of shaping worlds, building empires, and turning the invisible into the visible. Yet for most people, this giant lies asleep. It slumbers quietly, lulled by doubt, fear, and the belief that life is controlled by circumstances rather than choice. But let me tell you the truth. The moment you discover and commit to a definite purpose, the giant within you awakens. Purpose is the spark that ignites the fire of achievement. Without it, you drift like a ship without a compass, tossed about by the winds of chance. With it, you become unstoppable, for all forces of the universe seem to conspire in your favor. Think for a moment of the men and women who have shaped history, who carved their names in the stone of greatness. What separated them from the millions who lived in the same era, breathed the same air, and walked the same streets? It was not luck, it was not chance, it was purpose. They had a clear vision of what they wanted, and they bent every thought, every action, and every day of their lives toward that vision until it became reality. Purpose is more powerful than talent. It is more enduring than education. It is more commanding than money or connections. Purpose transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. With a definite purpose, even the weakest man gains strength, and the quietest voice gains authority. Ask yourself this: what is the one goal that stirs your soul? What dream refuses to leave your mind? What vision keeps calling you when you are alone? That is your giant speaking. Do not ignore it. Define it. Write it. Speak it. Breathe it into existence every single day. For when you know why you live, the how becomes clear and the when becomes inevitable. But hear me carefully. A definite purpose without action is a fantasy. Action is the fuel that drives purpose forward. When you marry thought with discipline, when you link desire with persistence, when you refuse to quit no matter the obstacles, you awaken the giant so fully that no force on earth can put it back to sleep. So I say to you today, dare to choose, dare to decide. Dare to declare your purpose boldly to the world, and then dedicate your life to its fulfillment. For in the end, it is not chance that defines destiny. It is choice. And the greatest choice you will ever make is to live for something greater than yourself. Awaken the giant, claim your purpose, and watch as life, step by step, bends to the strength of your will. Inside every man and woman lies a force so powerful, so extraordinary, that if unleashed, it could transform their life beyond recognition. Yet for most people, this power remains dormant, like a mighty giant fast asleep. This giant is the sum of your potential, the talents you have not discovered, the courage you have not yet used, the strength you have not yet tested. Why does this giant sleep? Because most people have been taught to live small. They allow fear to dictate their choices. They surrender to doubt, telling themselves, I am not capable, or I don't have what it takes. And so the giant stays silent, waiting, watching, locked away by chains of uncertainty. But here is the truth. You were not born to be ordinary. You were not created to simply exist and then fade away unnoticed. You were designed with greatness in mind. That giant inside you is proof that you carry within yourself the capacity for more growth, more strength, more achievement. You may ask, how do I awaken this giant? The answer begins with belief. Belief is the key that unlocks the prison of doubt. When you believe that you were meant for more, you begin to stir the giant. When you dare to dream of a greater life, you nudge it awake. And when you take action toward that dream, you unleash it in full force. Look around you. Every person who has ever risen from nothing to greatness has done so not because they were different in flesh and bone, but because they awakened their inner giant. They refused to live by fear. They chose to step into their true potential, and so can you. The giant within you is waiting. It is patient, but it is restless. It longs to build, to create, to conquer, to shine. And the moment you make the decision to rise above mediocrity, you will hear it roar inside you, a voice of strength, of vision, of unshakable power. Do not let it sleep another day. Awaken the giant within you. and you will discover that you already possess everything you need to live a life of significance, abundance, and greatness. Within every human being rests tremendous potential, but potential by itself is useless until it is directed. A river without banks is a flood. Energy without focus is wasted. In the same way, your inner giant, the power of your mind, your heart, and your spirit, remains asleep until it is given a spark strong enough to wake it. That spark is purpose. Purpose is more than a wish, more than a passing desire. It is the fire that lights your path. It is the reason you rise in the morning and the fuel that keeps you pressing forward when life becomes difficult. Without purpose, a man drifts. He becomes like a ship lost at sea, tossed by the winds of circumstance. But with purpose, even the storm becomes a servant. Obstacles turn into opportunities, and challenges become fuel for growth. Think of the difference between wandering and journeying. The wanderer walks with no direction, covering ground but going nowhere. The one with purpose, however, walks with certainty, knowing where each step is meant to lead. Purpose turns simple effort into meaningful progress. The giant within you stirs the moment you decide that your life must stand for something greater than survival. When you choose a definite aim, a goal so clear that you can see it even when your eyes are closed, you create a force inside yourself that cannot be denied. This force sharpens your mind, strengthens your resolve, and energizes your spirit. Every achievement in history began with purpose. The great discoveries, the towering buildings, the nations forged, and the lives transformed, all were born because someone dared to choose a definite goal and dedicate themselves to it. The giant of human potential always responds to purpose, never to indecision. Ask yourself today, what am I living for? What dream is worthy of my time, my effort, my very life? When you answer this honestly, you strike the match that ignites the giant within. And once that flame is lit, it will burn through doubt, fear, and resistance until your vision becomes reality. Do not let your giant sleep in silence. Awaken it with the spark of purpose. Give it direction, give it meaning, give it a reason to rise, and you will find that nothing in this world can hold it down. All through history, men and women have risen from obscurity to greatness. They were not chosen by chance. They were not gifted by fate with extraordinary privilege. Their success was not the result of accident or luck. Instead, each one was guided by a definite purpose, a vision so strong that it refused to let them sleep until it was fulfilled. Think of the inventors who reshaped the way we live, the leaders who built nations, the pioneers who crossed uncharted lands, the builders who raised cities from the ground. They were human beings like you, flesh, blood, and bone. They faced the same fears, the same doubts, and the same difficulties. Yet they chose one thing that set them apart. They lived for a purpose larger than themselves. The world remembers those who had a clear aim, not those who drifted. Fortune does not smile upon the wanderer, it responds to the determined. Chance may bring a man opportunity, but only purpose allows him to recognize it, seize it, and turn it into achievement. History is filled with examples. The artist who spends years perfecting his craft, driven not by applause, but by the purpose of creation. The entrepreneur who rises from failure after failure because his vision burns hotter than his setbacks. The reformer who faces ridicule, prison, even death, because his purpose is greater than his fear. These individuals prove a timeless truth. Greatness is never born of luck. It is forged in the fire of purpose. And what of those who lacked purpose? They may have possessed talent, wealth, or intelligence, but without direction they faded into obscurity. The world forgets those who drift because drifting leaves no mark. Only the purposeful carve their names into the stone of history. You and I are no different from those who came before us. The same potential lies within us, waiting for the same decision, to live by purpose. Do not wait for or luck. Do not hope for chance. They are fleeting, unreliable, and fickle. Purpose is steady, faithful, and enduring. When you fix your mind on a clear goal and dedicate your life to it, you join the ranks of the great achievers. You awaken the giant within, and like those before you, you will leave behind a legacy that time cannot erase. Too often people believe that success belongs only to the gifted, the ones born with genius-level intelligence, endless resources, or powerful connections. But history has proven again and again that these things, while useful, are not the true foundation of greatness. The real foundation is purpose. Talent without purpose is wasted. How many men and women possess extraordinary abilities, yet accomplish nothing because they never direct those abilities toward a definite aim? How many educated minds are filled with knowledge but lack the discipline to apply it to a worthy goal? How many wealthy individuals inherit fortune yet live aimless lives, leaving behind no contribution to the world? Purpose outweighs all of these because purpose transforms. With a burning purpose, the weak become strong, the ordinary become extraordinary, and the overlooked rise to prominence. Purpose gives the unskilled the drive to practice until mastery is achieved. It gives the poor the determination to create wealth where none existed. It gives the uneducated the hunger to learn what is necessary to fulfill their vision. Consider the story of the one who begins with nothing, no support, no recognition, no resources. What carries such a person from the bottom to the top? It is not chance, it is not privilege, it is purpose so fierce that it refuses to surrender. Purpose makes the impossible possible by fueling persistence, courage, and ingenuity. The world is full of talented people who never rise. It is full of educated people who never lead. It is full of resourced people who never build. Yet the world has never been able to ignore a man or woman with a definite purpose, pursued with relentless determination. Purpose acts as a magnet, drawing opportunities, resources, and allies toward the one who holds it firmly. And more importantly, it shapes the person themselves. When you live with purpose, you discover strengths you never knew you had. You endure hardships you never thought you could face. You grow beyond the limits that once defined you. So let others boast of talent, of wealth, of credentials. None of these alone guarantee greatness. But show me a person with a clear purpose, and I will show you someone unstoppable. For purpose is the great equalizer. It takes the weakest beginnings and turns them into the strongest triumphs. Every achievement begins as a desire, but not all desires are equal. Passing wishes come and go, fading like smoke in the wind. But a burning desire, a vision so strong it will not let you rest. This is the seed of greatness. It is the call of destiny that whispers to you in silence and shouts at you in your dreams. This desire is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Without it, you cannot awaken the giant within you. Without it, you cannot summon the strength to endure hardship, the courage to face obstacles, or the persistence to keep moving when everything inside you screams to stop. Desire is the foundation of purpose, and until you discover yours, you will never fully rise. How do you know if a desire is truly burning within you? It is the thought that refuses to leave. When your mind is quiet, it returns. When you are busy, it interrupts. It is not fleeting. It is relentless. You may try to ignore it, to bury it under routine or distraction, but it always resurfaces. That is the sign. This is the vision your soul was meant to pursue. Do not confuse a shallow wish with a burning desire. A wish says, "It would be nice if this happened." A burning desire declares, "This must happen, and I will not rest until it does." The world bends for those who carry this kind of determination. Doors open, paths appear, strength multiplies. And even when failures strike, and they will, desire keeps you alive, pressing forward when weaker hearts quit. Many people never rise because they never stop to ask themselves, what do I truly want? They allow society, family, or fear to dictate their aims, chasing goals that are not their own. But those who achieve greatness are the ones who dare to be honest with themselves, to discover what they truly hunger for, and then to dedicate their lives to it. Your burning desire is already inside you. Perhaps it has been whispering for years, waiting. For you to finally listen. Perhaps it is hidden beneath fear, doubt, or the weight of other people's expectations. But if you search your heart, you will find it. And when you do, embrace it with everything you have, for it is the compass that will guide you to your destiny. Do not live another day without defining it. Find your burning desire, claim it, and let it drive you until your vision becomes reality. A desire, no matter how strong, remains powerless until it is defined. The difference between a vague dream and a life-changing purpose is clarity. A man who says, I want to be successful, has only a wish. But a man who says, I will build this business, reach this goal, and achieve it by this date, has transformed his wish into a definite purpose. Clarity is power. When you define your purpose with precision, you give your mind direction. The human mind, like a compass, needs a fixed point. Without it, you drift aimlessly. With it, you move forward with certainty, even when the path is unclear. The clearer your purpose, the stronger the giant within you becomes. Do not merely think about your purpose. Write it down. Put it on paper where your eyes can see it. Writing transforms thought into form, taking it from the invisible realm of imagination into the visible world of action. A written purpose becomes a contract with yourself, a promise you cannot easily break. But do not stop at writing, speak it aloud. There is power in words spoken with conviction. Every time you declare your purpose, you impress it deeper into your subconscious mind. You reprogram your thoughts, your habits, and your very identity to align with your vision. Speak your purpose until it becomes the language of your soul. And then remind yourself daily. A purpose left unattended soon fades like a fire without fuel. Feed it every day. Read it every morning when you rise and every night before you sleep. Let it guide your choices, influence your actions, and shape your destiny. The greatest mistake people make is treating their purpose as a vague hope, something they might pursue someday. But those who achieve greatness know that purpose must be defined, spoken, and remembered until it becomes a living force within. When your purpose is clear, doubt loses its grip. When your purpose is written, excuses lose their power. When your purpose is spoken daily, your mind, body, and spirit align to make it real. And when your purpose becomes part of your very being, nothing in the world can stop you. So define it, write it, speak it, live it, for clarity of purpose is the foundation of every great achievement. A clear purpose is powerful, but by itself it is not enough. Purpose without action is like a seed left unplanted. It holds potential, but it will never grow. The world is full of people who dream, people who plan, people who imagine what could be. Yet only a few rise to greatness, because only a few turn their purpose into relentless action. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. It is the step that transforms invisible ideas into visible results. No matter how inspiring your vision, if you do not move your feet, nothing changes. The giant within you is awakened by purpose, but it is sustained by action. Persistence is the key. Anyone can take action once or for a short while when excitement is high. But the ones who succeed are those who act day after day, long after the excitement has faded, long after others have quit. They work when it is hard, when it is inconvenient, when no one is watching. This persistence is what turns dreams into reality. Do not wait for the perfect moment to act, because perfection never comes. Start where you are, with what you have, and take one step forward. The path will reveal itself as you move. Remember, a ship cannot be steered unless it is moving. So too, your purpose cannot guide you unless you take consistent action. Every obstacle you face is not a signal to stop, but a test of persistence. Life asks one simple question: how badly do you want it? If your answer is strong enough, you will act in spite of fear, in spite of failure, in spite of delay. Persistence proves the seriousness of your purpose. Think of those who achieved great things. They were not always the smartest, the richest, or the most talented, but they were relentless. They refused to stop. They understood that purpose without action is fantasy, but purpose with persistence is destiny. So act. And when you feel like stopping, act again. Let your purpose drive you, and let your persistence carry you when motivation fades. For in the end, greatness belongs not to those who dream, but to those who do. No journey worth taking is without obstacles. The path to greatness is never straight, never smooth, and never free of resistance. Too many people imagine success as a clear road, but in truth it is a mountain climb, steep, rocky, and full of challenges. Yet here lies the secret. Obstacles are not signs of defeat. They are proof that you are moving in the right direction. When you face an obstacle, you have two choices: to see it as a wall that stops you, or as a stepping stone that lifts you higher. Those who quit at the first sign of resistance never awaken their true power, but those who persist, who embrace the struggle, discover that every obstacle carries within it the seed of strength, wisdom, and growth. Think of failure not as an end, but as a teacher. Every setback shows you what does not work, guiding you closer to what does. Every rejection sharpens your resilience. Every delay strengthens your patience. Every hardship builds the giant within you. The more resistance you face, the stronger you become if you refuse to surrender. Persistence is the magic that transforms obstacles into opportunities. A man who keeps pressing forward will eventually find a way around, over, or through any barrier. Life cannot stop the one who refuses to quit. Even the heaviest stone becomes a stepping stone when persistence carries you upward. History remembers those who embraced obstacles: the inventor who failed 1,000 times before succeeding, the leader who endured defeat after defeat but refused to lay down his vision, the builder who saw nothing but barren land and imagined a city. They all understood that obstacles are not curses. They are tests designed to reveal the strength of your purpose. So expect obstacles. Do not be surprised when they come. Welcome them, for they are part of the process. And when they appear, remind yourself, this is not here to stop me. This is here to shape me. Then rise, persist, and keep moving forward. Remember this truth: the road to greatness is paved with obstacles, but those obstacles become your stepping stones the moment you decide to keep going. Every great achievement begins with a decision, a firm, unshakable decision that leaves no room for retreat. Dreams are fragile until they are fortified by commitment. Without decision, they remain fantasies. With decision, they become destiny. Most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they never truly decide. They say, "I'll try," or "I'll see what happens," leaving themselves an escape route, a back door. And when difficulty comes, as it always does, they slip through that door and abandon their purpose. But the achiever burns the bridges behind him. He says, "I will do this," or "I will perish in the attempt." That level of decision is what transforms ordinary desire into extraordinary achievement. Commitment is the bridge between your vision and its reality. It is the promise you make to yourself that you will not turn back. When you commit fully, you discover a new kind of strength, one that cannot be shaken by failure, fear, or delay. Decision locks your eyes on the prize, while commitment keeps your feet moving toward it, no matter the cost. Think of the men and women who changed the world. What set them apart was not the absence of obstacles, but the strength of their decision. They did not wait for certainty. They did not ask for guarantees. They chose, they committed, and they acted as if success were inevitable. That unshakable decision drew opportunities, allies, and resources to them because the world respects the one who knows where he is going. Do not say, "I hope." Do not say, "I'll try." Say instead, "I will." And then let your every action prove the truth of that statement. For once a man has decided with absolute clarity, half the battle is already won. Your destiny will not be given to you by chance. It must be claimed by decision. And once you commit fully, the giant within you rises because it knows there is no retreat. No surrender, no turning back. So decide, commit, and let that decision become the bridge that carries you from dream to reality. Every dream, no matter how grand or noble, will be tested by the trials of life. Obstacles will rise, doors will shut, critics will laugh, and failures will appear as though they are permanent. But here lies the secret. Nothing is permanent except your determination to press forward. The giant within you does not awaken once and then sleep forever. It must be stirred again and again by persistence, by the refusal to surrender. The individual who clings to a definite purpose with relentless effort becomes unstoppable, for persistence wears down resistance, and time itself bows before the one who will not quit. Remember this: temporary defeat is not failure, but a lesson pointing the way to greater strength. The world eventually yields to the person who refuses to be defeated, because persistence is the very heartbeat of greatness.